big week this week. 1-1 we go into this, so we need something big on the red brand. We open on the pre-show, Samoa Joe getting a victory over Funaki, the best announcer in the world, of course. The Coquina Clutch, Samoa Joe wins, 53 for Joe is a solid score. Joe's the one carrying this, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for Funaki. I feel sorry for him. He had to go against the machine that is Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, at the moment, just working pre-shows. We're not going to debut him creatively on TV just yet. I do have a plan, but we'll see where that heads. Okay, also on the pre-show, we did a big... Oh, actually, I wanted to change Joe's gimmick because for some reason it said no gimmick needed, and I want him to be like a monster brute gimmick, so we're going to change that now, so that should be better. Okay, also on the pre-show, we've got a win for Cade and Jindrak. I know, unbelievable. When did they last win a match? Well, they beat Heidenreich and Ultimo Dragon in the weirdest tag team ever. Garrison Cade getting the victory over Heidenreich. I kind of feel bad for Ultimo Dragon because he is a good performer. Like he's the best performer of the four here. And potentially I should be using him more.
Yeah,
obviously not Heidenreich, but
I got to be honest. There's a story here just to put out. Like I'm curious to see how Heidenreich and Orton became a tag team. That is more of a story that I would love to see.
They were placed together for a pre-show match, and we're moving on very quickly because nobody cares about Heidenreich.
Oh my god, there's a story there that you could like a really goofy, over the top story you could do.
Nobody wants it. Let me know in the comments down below if you want it, and I will ignore you because I don't want it. Right, moving on to the main show.
I try. All I can do is try.
We're going to open in the office of the Raw General Manager, Randy Savage, because we've got some news to clear up. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video last time out, but I can mention it now. For 78, we'll get to it. It's okay, but with the people involved. What we're going to talk about here is Brock Lesnar. Now, last week, Brock Lesnar suffered a very bad injury. Brock Lesnar is out for a year in-game, which is a problem. But, of course, he was meant to be part of the fatal four-way at King of the Ring. Savage is going to explain here that Brock is out. He will not be part of the pay-per-view. We let people know this here. And he says, however, what we do have is a top match for the main event. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker versus Goldberg. We don't need to change that. We'll do the triple threat. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? The match is good enough. We don't really need to mess with it too much. At that moment, in walk-in TNA with Taz. Now, last week, of course, there were... Test lost to Daniel Bryan in the King of the Ring. Clearly, Test wasn't happy about that. And as such, Randy Savage offers the team a chance tonight to prove themselves again, to prove the critics wrong when they go up against The Undertaker and Goldberg. We're putting Goldberg and Taker together after their handshake last week for a match in the tag division as such.
It's random. I love it, but it's so random.
Well, I mean, it's a way to build to the match, right? And Test and A-Train are a solid tag team. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Let's see how that goes. We're going to open the in-ring portion with the King of the Ring quarter-final. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. The winner of this one will go on to next week's Raw final, a.k.a. the semi-final. So who will get there? Daniel Bryan beat Test on his debut last week. Big win for him. Could he do it again against Randy Orton?
I mean...
No, he can't. 79, not bad considering Bryan's in it. Like, Bryan's
third match?
A limit, right? Do you know what I mean? It's only his second match on TV, so...
Oh, okay.
It's not bad at all. Randy Orton beats Daniel Bryan clean with the RKO. 88 from Orton, a little lower than I'd want, weirdly, but Bryan 65, not bad at all. A good TV match, this. 79, not a problem. Good TV match. And a clean win for Randy Orton. Like, Bryan's not on his level right now.
Yet.
Well, yet, of course, yet. We accept it. He's not on that level, so we have him beaten here. Maybe in the future, if you do a rematch, Bryan will be in a better position. But right now, there's only going to be one winner, and that is Randy Orton. And that means Randy Orton is in to the Raw final. Now, his opponent will be either Rey Mysterio or Batista. We'll get to that in the main event. Post-match, well, Evolution put the boots to Daniel Bryan once again. And Ric Flair kind of makes this about himself here. Ric Flair puts the figure 4 leg lock on Daniel Bryan just to really rub salt in the wound of the defeat. And this is now going to start a little bit of a TV feud between Flair and Bryan, because why not?
I'm up for that. Gotta be honest, I'm up for that. Like the idea of seeing like a Flair that's still kind of he's in his prime, but he's still pretty good. And got Bryan that's this young upstart. Oh, come on, take my money now. I would love to see that. I'm intrigued to see what you do with that. That sounds cool.
I mean, 8-2, it's nothing amazing, but for Bryan in there, fine, not a problem. Okay, backstage, Shawn Michaels cuts a promo, that's better, for 97, on The Undertaker and Goldberg. He says he'll be watching that tag team match tonight very, very closely. He'll be scouting, because guess what, boys? That's what the best does. Shawn Michaels labelling himself the best. And you know what? As WWE champion, who's to argue with him?
I mean, you could have easily just said best in the world and say that Shawn Michaels said it before Punk said it or Jericho said it, if you wanted to be that person. But I like it though. But yeah, I mean, Shawn Michaels, I can see him talking like that. I can really see it.
He's going to lead somewhere. That's that particular line. Back to the in-ring contest. We're going to have AJ Styles beat Jamie Noble for 70. What's this doing getting a 74? What is this?
Is this one when he has no right to do as good as it is?
Look at the performances. 66 and a 57. How is it been boosted to a 74? AJ's got star quality, which helps. Jamie Noble's got a legendary gimmick. Good storyline heat. Good roadwork agent. Hot crowd. I mean, I'll take the win. I only gave it 6 minutes, which kind of probably helped, if we're honest. Styles beats Noble with a Styles clash. Styles beats Noble clean. If there's someone who's going to lose from the tag teams, it's Noble. And Styles is the future. So
yeah, I mean, it's not Jamie Noble. It's like, no offense to like the tag dynamic with Big Show, but he is kind of cannon fodder. He's like if he could lose and it doesn't affect him, but Big Show loses, it's a big deal.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Afterwards, as you can imagine, Big Show is very frustrated and he hits a KO punch on AJ, hits a KO punch on Booker T, and drags Jamie Noble back up the ramp, who's just completely out of it after the Styles clash. Big Show destroying the challengers on his own here. That shows how powerful Big Show is.
I mean, it's funny thing to Big Show. I've always found it's like if they really wanted, in theory, a guy that tall and that big should probably win everything, right? And no one could destroy him. So I always like it when they showed that in wrestling more.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Okay, backstage, the Cruiserweight Champion, Chavo Guerrero, 51, not great, cuts a promo on Paul London and Maven. He says, you know what, he's not worried about who wins. He's not worried about who his next challenger is going to be, because the truth is, Paul London, Maven, they're both losers anyway when it comes to Chavo Guerrero. Confidence from the Cruiserweight Champion. And why wouldn't he be confident? He's the star of the division right now. So
he's got the vision. He's right. You know, he must be aching because he's right. He's holding the vision on his back. The vision on his back,
and he's got that big boy Matt Morgan next to him, just in case he needs an insurance policy. So
I mean he doesn't, but it's good to have a tall guy like Matt Morgan next to you. Always be.
So
gotta love it.
Who is going to win the Cruiserweight Gold Rush tournament? We're going to find that out right now. The final is next. In theory, I mean, it's a number one contenders match for the Cruiserweight Championship now. Will it be Maven or will it be Paul London? Let's find out. Your winner and new number one contender, Paul London, for a 61. Very good Cruiserweight match. And actually, this kind of explains the booking. I'll be honest, when I originally came up with the idea for the Gold Rush tournament, Maven was my winner. I was going to have Maven win.
Okay.
But as we've gone through the tournament, it kind of feels like Paul London's been the star of the tournament. Putting on great performances. I mean, even in the final here, 63 from London, only a 48 from Maven. Which is the guy that should win the match? Clearly, Paul London. So we've changed tact. We've put London over. And it does mean that Paul London will be getting a Cruiserweight Championship opportunity in the near future. I'm not saying it's on the pay-per-view. In the near future.
I mean, I love that. It's like you basically, because of some Paul London's performances, you go, you know what? Let's give this guy a shot. I like that. Like you had a plan and it changed just because of performance of one guy. So, but I mean, to be fair, what's more? No offense to Maven, but what's more interesting match? Paul London versus Chavo Guerrero? I would say that's a more interesting match.
I would agree right now. I would agree. So yeah, pretty good. Cruiserweight. I think the Cruiserweight tournament has been solid. And that's kind of all I wanted from it. It was never going to be blow away because of their performances, but it's been better than I expected. So we set up a big match with London and Chavo, and I would argue people care more about London and Chavo now than they did before the tournament. So
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. That's it. Okay, let's have a WWE Universe address from JBL in the ring. This is 92 for this, that's better. JBL hosts this address. He says, let's get to the point. I have banished the weak link. That's all he'll say on Brock Lesnar. He's banished the weak link.
He's going to pay for that in a year. He's going to pay.
And let's talk about the fact that the cabinet are stronger than ever. Well, that's a lie, but hey-ho. He says the only reason he lost at the Great American Bash in Texas was because Texas betrayed him. He won't let you fans here in Kentucky betray him. He won't let anybody across America betray him because JBL is the real American.
So I love that. So basically, he thinks that they betrayed him. So I love that. I think I like that. That's good.
He says, what's the epitome of America? Opportunity. And in his career, all he's ever done is take an opportunity and run with it. Whether it's in this ring, whether it's with his financials, or whether it's on talk shows or anything like that. Now, you fans out there, and he starts pointing at them and he goes, look at you. You are definitely unemployed. Look at you. 100% unemployed. That's not American. Look at you. What do you do? And he puts the mic to them and they say, I'm a teacher. And JBL goes, and that is why the kids are as dumb as they are now. Not American. Right? And then he goes to someone else. Clearly a Latin character, clearly not necessarily American, and he just goes, clearly not American, and walks away. And JBL says, I am the real American. A change in gimmick a little bit here from JBL, moving away from rich man to patriotic asshole. Basically.
To be fair, that's kind of what he did with life. So it's not like out of character for him because he always had that with him. So he kind of went for that when he started out, didn't he? From that,
yeah. And then he moves on to John Cena. He says John Cena is just hood trash. That's all John Cena is. And one day John Cena will end up behind bars. We all know it. That's when John Cena obviously interrupts. Speak of the devil. Cena stands on the stage this time, not ready for, not here necessarily for a brawl straight away. And he says he's fed up of this back and forth. You know what? JBL wants a title shot. Cena wants some of JBL. Let's make this happen at King of the Ring. Cena and JBL. Cena goes to the ring. JBL. Actually, they shake hands. Yeah. I know.
Interesting.
Cena and JBL shake hands. JBL goes to leave. Of course, Cena holds onto it, lifts him up into the FU and nails the FU, standing tall for this segment. But you can imagine the real American is not going to like the idea that he was ready to shake John Cena's hand here. Setting stuff up. Okay. Fine. 92. Fine. I enjoyed that promo from JBL. That was a bit on the fly from me and I liked it. So. Was
that all that stuff you came up with just on the fly?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, impressive. That's really, I could see him saying that, especially the bit with the teacher and saying that's why they're dumb as they come. It's like I like that line. It's very good.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, backstage, Goldberg approaches the Undertaker for a 100 rated segment, trying to get on the same page. And Goldberg says, "You know what? Did you hear that earlier? Shawn Michaels calling himself the best." Taker goes, "Yeah, I heard." Goldberg starts laughing and he says, "Can you believe that? I mean, we all know who the best of the three of us is, don't we?" And he laughs, walking away. Goldberg clearly meaning himself. And the Undertaker just has quite a bemused face on him as he leaves, like are you serious, boy? Are you serious? Clearly issues between Taker and Goldberg. Goldberg's ego, in a way, here. Which, to be fair, his unbeaten run in WCW probably deserved getting a bit of an ego. So, yeah, play into that. 100, good stuff.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I guess in getting 100s are just normal now. We just get them like every week now.
It happens, doesn't it? It happens. Okay. Let's go to that match then. Tag match. Taker and Goldberg versus TNA. This could potentially have main evented, but I wanted to put the King of the Ring in the main event slot. This might be the best match of the night. Taker and Goldberg versus TNA gets an 87. Very good. The Undertaker and Goldberg don't work well as a team. Their timing is all over the place. I would argue that adds to the match, if I'm really honest, because that's kind of the story that we're going with. They don't work well together. That's the point.
And so basically, the game's like, for you, you're like going, haha, I knew you were going to do that game. Because that's the whole point. Like, you're trying to outsmart the game. I like it.
Taker pins A-Train to win with a tombstone. What we've got written here is that Taker will tag himself in. Goldberg will hit the spear, looks ready to hit the jackhammer. Taker tags himself in and steals the limelight from the egotistical Goldberg, basically. Little bit of a needle between the two. Good stuff though, 87. Let's go backstage where Evolution are talking about the King of the Ring for another 100 rate segment. Good stuff. Batista tells Flair and Orton he wants to do this alone tonight. He wants to go out there alone to beat Rey Mysterio. He doesn't need Flair and he doesn't need Randy Orton out there. He says he wants to do it alone, and then next week it'll be Batista versus Orton and the best man will win, Batista says. Orton and Flair. Orton says, cool, yeah, man, no worries, you do it on your own. Like, Orton's very clearly like, he doesn't want to help Batista. Let's be honest. He's not going to want to help Batista because Batista's a monster right now.
And he knows he faced him.
Flair, though, goes, yeah, of course, no worries, Dave, got you, I understand, Dave, winks at him and walks away as if to be like, oh, he's saying that thing where he's like, actually, you do want us to get involved. That's how Flair's taking it. Batista clearly didn't mean it that way, and Orton knows it too. However,
he doesn't.
Let's get more on that at the end of the show. I don't want to reveal too much. Let's get more on that at the end of the show. 100 rate segment, good stuff though. Actually, I say end of the show, we're nearly there because before the main event, Randy Savage announces some matches for next week. He announces we will get that King of the Ring semi-final. It'll be Randy Orton versus either Batista or Rey Mysterio. It'll also be The Big Show versus Booker T, the other partnership that we saw last week.
That's a huge match. That is, and I know there's a joke there, but I mean, literally, like Booker T, and that's got potential to be a very good match. So
we're also going to see John Cena and JBL have a contract signing for their US Intercontinental title match at King of the Ring. Nearly. Okay, let's seal off what's been actually a pretty good show as we've gone along. I was worried for a while, but it's been okay. Main event. Batista, Rey Mysterio, King of the Ring. Who goes through to next week's Raw final, or semi-final as we're going to call it. It's Rey Mysterio for an 80. So the main event wasn't fantastic. Batista's injury a problem, but I mean, Rey 78, Batista 88. Could have been an 84, 85 if the game wanted to be fair. But I suppose we got that boost with AJ and Noble, but it is what it is. Rey beats Batista then, following botched interference from Ric Flair. So we're going to have Ric Flair come down to the ring, try and help Batista. Batista clearly didn't want it, and it leads to Rey Mysterio taking advantage and pinning Batista. Big win for Rey Mysterio, but it's the Flair interference that's important. Now, earlier I said about the fact that Orton clearly won't want to face Batista. Was Orton needling Flair here? Was Orton the one pushing Flair to get involved?
Maybe. I mean, is this I'm not saying bring anything, but is this a tease for possibly a split?
Maybe.
Obviously, don't.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But I like the idea that you teased it, because I like that stuff, because it's kind of stuff that us wrestling fans love when you tease something like, ooh, when that pays off. So, but you love it. But, yeah.
Post match. Flair and Orton get in the ring, and it looks like Evolution are going to put the boots to Mysterio just like they did Bryan earlier, but Batista is having none of it. Batista walks away frustrated. That distracts Flair and Orton, who are a bit like, wait, what's the problem? What's up? Rey takes advantage, drop kicking Orton out the ring, drop kicking Flair, hitting a 619 on Flair and celebrating to end the show. Batista has walked off in an absolute huff after losing, showing the frustration. And as far as he's concerned, Rey Mysterio didn't beat Batista. Ric Flair beat Batista tonight. So, 97, good way to end the show. We're building stuff. So it's good.
Yeah, it's good. As I said, it's got. I just thought, like I said, the T2 Evolution type. I'm liking that. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes. But yeah, it should be good.
And of course, we've confirmed for next week Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in the King of the Ring semi-final, because that's logic. Okay, Raw gets a 90. So it wasn't as much as we've been doing lately. I was aware of that. If you look at the star power on the show, we haven't got a massive amount. We got Taker and Goldberg in that tag match, which, like I say, potentially could have main evented. But we've trusted the youth tonight. Ray, Batista, London, Styles, Orton and Bryan, still very young. We're trusting the youth tonight, and they've still pulled out a very good 90. So Stu may have a better show this week. He may do, but we're building. I
mean, I always love that. Like when you say that, we're building. I mean, to be fair, it's if this is your building show, to get a 90, I mean, come on, man.
It's good.
Like,
it's good.
I mean, I think it's like when I was having my problems getting ratings. Like if this is my bad show and I want to get 89s, 90s, then. So
I don't think it's a bad show. I think it's a good show. No, it was never going to be a 94, 95. I was aware of that. Batista working the injury as well in the main event. Still suffering with the injury, so that's brought that down a bit as well. 90 though. Let's see what Smackdown. Smackdown begins on the pre-show. House of Pain getting a victory over La Resistance. No French tickling tonight. The only tickling that's been happening is Mark Henry's been, splashing, not tickling. World's Strongest Splash win over Salvan Granier. Salvan. No one says it like that, but we are now. Salvan Granier.
It probably sounds way better than your French accent, let's be fair.
Yeah, there you go. 63 from Mark Henry, the best. Scott Steiner, 61, not bad. 57, solid match. Throw that on the show, why not? You could do. Okay, after that, Rikishi gets a win over Doug Basham for a 49. 52 from Rikishi, 34 from Doug, and they didn't click. This is why you test stuff out in the pre-show.
So you can find out what that's, they don't click. But it was always just good to see. Obviously, got that big win. Haven't really used them as much yet. The word yet. But I think that Basham's are a good team you can put them against, or a single star you can just do. But yeah, that wouldn't go on the main show. But
no.
At least I know that now.
At least you do. We're going to open the main show. There were in-ring competition, and this is a risk. I'm telling you now, this is a risk. We're doing Victoria versus Jazz to open SmackDown. How many people are going to turn off? We'll see.
I love that. This is why I got the women's division. He didn't. That's what I'm saying.
Victoria versus Jazz gets a 51. Stinker of a start.
Are you sure?
What did I do? I did Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. He throws out Victoria versus Jazz.
I cannot believe you're disrespecting the women's division.
Honestly, the live crowd are like, is this still the pre-show? Is this still the dark matches?
You know what? I'm not listening to you at this point, because I just for the idea that I was really worried that it could go really bad, but 51, that's very good. That's very good.
Could have been worse. I was hoping for worse. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Victoria 52, Jazz 44 gets the win clean. Victoria with a widow's peak, I assume.
Yeah, I said finish it, but I never. But,
I think it's a widow's peak.
One thing I got to point out in this match is I like the idea that Jazz heart's not in it. If you know what I mean. Through the match, it feels like she's either distracted or something's on her mind. She's not into the match, if you know what I mean. So that could make that again. That might set up something, it might not, but just put it in there. Tease, nice.
Little tease. Post match, Molly Holly and Jazz put the boots to Victoria when out comes the former Aspire member, Gail Kim, 45.
That's fine. It's not going to be. You've got to get that. I mean, it's a lot of words.
Not enough star power for any of them, basically.
I disagree with the game, because I think there is star power in that. But what do I know? Apparently the game knows more. But yeah, just one simple. Yeah, you've got Molly Holly comes in, attacks Victoria. As you expect, Jazz Stu is part of the team, so 2-on-1, and then Gail Kim comes out for the save. Simple segment. Because obviously there's still Molly Holly. Gail Kim Stu keeps getting in Molly Holly's business. Like, she can't get rid of her. So might set up something later on, but again, that's fine. It could have been terrible. I think that's good. I think it's all right.
After a brutal start to the show, let's go to a main eventer, shall we? Rob Van Damme is backstage.
Horrible.
That's about it. 90 interrupted by CM Punk.
This one just simple with obviously RVD would be obviously backstage, knee injury and all. Obviously got Take It destroyed by Mark Henry as well as destroyed many things on that edition of the show. But in this case, storyline wise, he'd done his knee in, so we're asking how is he feeling, all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of a situation I'm saying it's fine. I said ligaments are damaged. You don't have to go on specifics, but
ligaments are damaged. It's fine. My ligaments are damaged, but don't worry.
I don't know.
He strained his knee. That's what we'll go with.
I was trying to be clever, but as always, it doesn't.
His ligaments are damaged.
I don't know how they work. I don't know how medical thing works, do I?
My foot's falling off, but it's fine. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I might need that. No, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Van Damme's probably so high you can't feel it anyway, so it's fine.
Well, there's one way of saying it, but I don't know. But basically, he's fine. I should have just put that, but I wanted to be clever and wanted to but it didn't work. But anyway, CM Punk comes out and kind of saying, "I'm glad to see you're okay," but in a sarcastic way, because obviously it's like he's seeing like Blood in the Water here against RVD, and he kind of says, "I can't wait to beat you again on SmackDown and progress in this Kingdom in triumph. So good luck because you will need all the luck." And then just before he leaves, he kicks his knee on the way out. And he walks off, and obviously everyone's checking on.
Well, he'd run off with Stone Cold there, but yeah.
So Stone Cold doesn't say a word, and you think, oh, shouldn't you say something? Like Stone Cold doesn't need to. It's the eyes. It's always the eyes. It's like he doesn't have to say a word. So yes, but 90, that's good.
Backstage, Molly Holly cuts a promo on Gail Kim, and it's time to go back to where this all started.
Yeah, I like stuff like this where it's all that kind of interconnected. But yeah, basically it's like he's talking backstage saying he needs to end Gail Kim. And next week, as you said, end it where it began. Her betrayal began. If you want to go dramatic, to dramatize it a little bit. And it would be, and so I'm going to face you in a steel cage match. And and basically it's not really crazy. It says that basically it's announced that we're going to have a steel cage match next week.
And of course that's where Gail Kim finally had enough of Molly Holly, so we're returning to the scene of the crime. Okay, King of the Ring semi-final, the Raw semi-final, quarter-final of the whole tournament. Who will go through? Sorry, the SmackDown semi-final. Who will go through to next week's SmackDown final for a place in the King of the Ring final? Bit confusing, but we'll get there. It's CM Punk versus Rob Van Damme, with his strained ligaments and all. Let's see how he gets on. Van Damme and Punk for an 81. Not quite the best they can do. They have done an 83 before, but solid. 89 for Van Damme, Punk 66, and a win for the United States champion, who right now nothing can stop him.
I mean, no, but to be fair, got to be honest, like just as you said, it shows consistency that they can. If you want an 81 on a show or an 83 or an 80, you can rely on these two to put on a great match. Because it's 81's 3.5 star, 3 star,
4 star.
So if you're getting like 4 star out of these three, and you've got a young Punk and obviously a still in his prime in a way, a Van Damme, then you've got good stuff here. But yeah, the way I've put this match is kind of a situation. Obviously, you've got Punk obviously working on the knee, all that kind of stuff. I like the ending of RVD trying to go to the top, but he can't because obviously his knee's out. So we got CM Punk being the cocky heel he is, trying to hit a stunner on RVD just to mess with Stone Cold, and Stone Cold's face is like, "You're going to pay for that, son.
What?
You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that." But RVD counters it, hits a stunner of his own, gets the win that way.
I like the idea of him hitting a stunner and then hitting the frog splash, because the frog splash is so good of a finish, you don't want to get rid of it as well. But the combo of a stunner frog splash is probably great for Van Damme.
Yeah, it's great. I just think for the knee thing, it works for the finish of the story of the match. Yeah. But I get what you mean. I love doing it because, again, it just sets it up in it. Unless, if you do a proper stunner sell where it's just your stunner, you land, or you do the Rock's version of it where you flip around and all that kind of stuff. But normal people just hit one stunner, boom, to get in position nicely for a top work move. And yeah, maybe it might be the future. But
might be. Post match, Van Damme is clearly suffering for a 100 rated segment
by himself. Just to point out,
the star that is RVD.
Oh, I think that gives me a little hope there. a lot of hope that Van Damme, of all people. This was a simple one. It's just like, he won the match, but he's obviously Punk did do a number on that leg or that knee, and basically like they got medical staff coming in checking on him. He looks in a bad way, so whoever's facing him next, there'll be what can I say? What's the word I'm for? Basically, they'll be enjoying their chances or thinking they've got a good chance of winning the whole thing.
Winning the whole thing. Well, we'll find out later on tonight. Backstage, we go back to the tournament, the competition between the School of Hard Knocks and the Dudley Boys for a 73, because the ratings king that is Mick Foley's involved in it.
Yeah, of course. I've got to be honest, the way that picture just sums up how I feel about Mick Foley right now. Just the thumbs up and going, hey Mick, how you doing? But yeah, this one simple is a situation. Obviously, they're backstage. They're still doing this kind of competition. Obviously, it's arm wrestling. This one, or as I said, they want to escalate it. So this time they're doing like a strap lashing competition type thing. The straps. Like you'll be thinking that's crazy. But well, yeah, because these guys want to prove they can tolerate pain. So do that, and obviously they do that competition. And then I like the idea of just they're doing it, and then Mick just turns up, like looking at it, going, "Okay, I was gonna talk to these guys, but I'll just wait until after this and do what they're doing." Because I can see Mick be like, "Okay, I'm trying to be the nice guy here," but he's kind of come after they finish. Obviously, Mike finally comes in. He starts saying, "It's weird to say, but he loves this kind of competition. This kind of stuff between two teams, and that's what he's been looking for the tag division, right? This kind of competition." So he kind of likes. So we started offers them like, tonight you two tag teams. You're gonna get a shot at the tag champs. Dudley's, you get yours first. School of Hard Knocks, you get yours next week. And and obviously they'll be like, oh, okay. Obviously they're gonna take the shot. But yeah, it's like I like the idea that basically Mick's it's like he literally is looking around like every tag team going, what are they doing? Let's see what they've been up to and all that kind of stuff.
Mick Foley will save tag team wrestling on the blue brand. That's the plan. 73 is pretty good. Okay, let's go to the women's division. The women's champion, Trish Stratus, and her best friend, Lita.
Yes, best friend. Yes. This one, this is again, it's simple in the way that it's set up. Is obviously Trish is backstage. Backstage, and obviously Trish, Lita comes in and kind of just straight out of the gate says, yeah, I want to face for the title. Like, no messing around, no that rubbish. Like, literally, it's been obvious by the looks that she wants to at the title, that she wants to face it, but now she just says it straight to her face. And and she said, Trish is like, okay, cool, yeah, I like this idea, because obviously I like the idea. Trish, she's now as champion, she's on a mission to put women's division on the map. Put women's wrestling on the map. So, like, if she's got an opportunity to face one of her best friends in a match that she knows would be great, of course she'll jump at it. But she said she wants to do something that's never been done before. The women have never done before type situation. So she accepts her challenge. But she says she has to pick the stipulation for the match. And Lita's like, yeah, because she's like, I'll get a title shot. I don't care what match it is. I get a title shot. And then she agrees, and then kind of sets up, like, what stipulation? Obviously, we'll find out next week, but... yeah. Find out next week.
Backstage, Paul Heyman talks to his old friends, the Dudley Boys, for a 75.
Yeah, this one I think is I find hilarious, because it's like any logical person would know would go in there trying to convince the Dudleys, oh, don't do this match, don't do this match. But because Paul Heyman, and he's so confident in his ability that he can convince anyone to do anything, it's kind of it was kind of ECW in a nutshell there. He's very good at convincing people to do things against, what they normally could do. But I like the idea he comes in, he's trying to backstage, trying to convince them, like bring up old times in ECW, all that kind of stuff, sitting there trying to say, you don't want to have this match tonight. You haven't got time to prepare, it's out of the blue. I mean, wouldn't you want to face them in, like, peaks, you want to face them, when both teams are, on top form, that kind of stuff. And that. Then the Dudleys are like, or Bubba Ray, so it seems like I think he would be like, he doesn't like Paul Heyman. It's like, because they know you can't trust Paul Heyman on his word. type situation.
Yeah.
And I like the idea. And he's basically after that he's like, I see what you're trying to do, Paul, and it's not going to work. But here's a warning to your clients. We're taking your titles tonight.
Taking back their titles as well, of course.
Yeah, and obviously I like the idea of holding him up, from his suit and that stuff, and he just chucks them, pushes him out of the locker room, kind of sitting going, yeah, you send that message. Sets up the. Obviously, we have to put it out there. That obviously, the match has changed a little bit, but when I wrote it, this is what the plan was. But we'll bring it up in a couple of seconds, I guess.
So the plan was the world's greatest tag team versus the Dudley Boys, but turns out there is a third team involved, a team that everybody wants, the team that everybody searches and needs in their life, the most must-see tag team in all of sports entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, Val Venus, Stevie Richards, the world's most wanted. I'm going to make this a triple threat. So, Dudley Boys, world's greatest tag team, world's most wanted. Who will walk out tag team champions? Your winner, Stu, and...
Still,
of course,
the WWE tag team champions for 65 again. It's fun to fly.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. Obviously, yeah, because we obviously point out that obviously I've done this match a couple of times against the World Against Tag Team in the Dudleys. So obviously, if I did it, would have affected the match. I didn't want to do that, so we had to think of something a bit more creative. And in a way, this kind of works because what I planned anyway for later on. But yeah, I like the idea that maybe you got a situation. We'll just say that again, like I don't know, Mick Foley's just basically he's not in his office at all tonight. He's all over the arena just making announcements, I guess. But he just comes out and he's sitting and saying, you know what? I just had a thought. These people have seen that match before. I'm going to put a team that I'd be really impressed with. Obviously, this is, I don't know why he's saying this, but I just think it'd be really funny. He said it. So really impressed what they did. And they just came back from winning a grueling tag team tournament in Brazil. And that I think would be so funny. And of course, and they are the world's most wanted tag team. Val Venus and Stevie Richards. And then
I like the idea that the Dudley Boys and the world's greatest tag team are like, who? Sorry? Who the hell are they? Because that's the point of this gimmick, right? They have labelled themselves the world's most wanted, but realistically, nobody wants them. That's the point. They're Val Venus, they're Stevie Richards in 2004, they're jobbers. Right, so it's a job squad type gimmick, but a different twist on it in the egotistical face tag team of everybody loves us, everybody needs us type thing.
I think it's like when I put the team together, then I think we went for the names and it said, it was my wife. It just fits. I just think it works brilliantly. But yes, obviously, like they're coming in, obviously. Obviously the other two teams are caught off guard because obviously what the hell, what are they doing in this match? Originally I put I think the finish still works in the end because obviously the finish I put is obviously Alcoholic comes down, hits Bubba Ray with the strap, obviously the one they were having their competition with earlier in the night, and then Benjamin hits T-bone suplex on let's say Bubba Ray gets the pin, gets the win, they retain their titles. But yeah, Mick's going all in with this. He really is trying to make it tag team wrestling.
How else would you say tag team wrestling apart from the world's most wanted? So there you go. Post match, the School of Hard Knocks beat down the Dudley Boys. I suppose they would have beat down the world's most wanted as well at this point as well, and then seemed to send a message to the tag team champions. Yeah,
just simple things. Obviously, as we announced previously, obviously they've got the shot next week. So we'll do anything. We'll take out the Dudleys for you. We don't mind attacking the Dudleys, but you've got to realise that next week we're taking those titles from you. So it's like, I think it's the first shot they've had. I think for a while. It might be. So there's hunger in the School of Hard Knocks. So those tag titles. So interesting. Sets up an interesting match next week.
Okay, backstage, the World Heavyweight Champion Eddie Guerrero approaches Lance Storm for an 84.
Yep, this one was just to kind of put across, obviously, Boy didn't say it on stream or anything, on videos, but I kind of just thought it down now. Obviously, we said gauntlet match, Then I thought, then I changed my mind. Logistically, I've got to stop saying gauntlet matches when I know I can't really do them on the game. So what I've come up with interesting. We'll talk about the stipulation in a minute, but I like the idea that Eddie and Edge can pick their opponents of who to go against each other, basically. Because obviously it's a one-upmanship game, isn't it? So they want to put them against the best and see what they can do. Type of situation. But Eddie goes to obviously Lance Storm. Obviously, I don't want you. I know I say rising star because obviously he's like, what is he, 40s at this point? But he is the kind of like.
Don't say it then. Don't say it then.
I won't. I can't think of another cut. Like he's just. He's finally reaching his potential. That's
Thank you. That's better. That's better.
Yeah, finally reaching his potential that we all know he has. It's just, anyways, it's fine. Anyway, so Eddie's like, very happy with like what we've been doing the last couple of months, that kind of stuff. He wants to give him another opportunity. And I know, and Lance Storm, and he kind of plays to Lance Storm's kind of like, at this point you would think what Triple H has done to him, there was some hatred there. Mm-hmm. So I like the idea that he plays to that, saying you want to show Triple H you're better than him, right? And show him how good you are, right? So yeah. And so, for what about you face Edge tonight? And obviously Lance Storm's like, I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. And he shakes his hand and agrees. And guess when that match is?
That match is next. That's right. We're going to do it. Edge versus Lance Storm for a 85.
Lovely. I love to see that. Yes, just to point out with the stipulation, I've put, it is kind of a beat the clock challenge because it is. But I know I do a lot of them. But I think I said beat him in 12-minute challenge or beat type situation. So like they've got to do a thing where there's a time limit on the stuff. Like you've got to beat him at this thing because it's kind of what a Iron Man match would be. So it kind of plays on the idea of like they're just trying.
Well, you could say he's got to beat him within 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you see the clock on the thing, like the thing literally. So it's like it's a proof of point that basically endurance and all that kind of stuff and all that. So that feels pretty cool. But yeah, this one's simple. With I said it's a great match. And you got Triple H is still getting Lance Storm's business. Distracts him, but he doesn't distract him in a way he hits him or attacks him. He just stands at the top of the ramp. That little second of hesitation, turns around, boom, Edge hits the spear. He gets his win. I think obviously it says 12. I mean, the timing doesn't really matter at this point. It's just 12, 13. That'll be fine. I think that's all right. But but the point is, it's supposed to put. Lance Storm can't really do anything at the moment. Triple H is in a way. Triple H can't do it for Lance Storm. It's kind of this vice versa. And obviously Edge is just, he's showing that he's an incredible threat to Eddie's title. And that he can hang, that he can last for the 50 minutes or less.
And of course we do see that Eddie was watching on backstage, very pleased with what he's seen, right? Yeah,
I obviously put that segment where obviously had to cut it for time. But yes, basically, because obviously you would be watching that, but obviously you'd be watching it on the side because that's how they watch TV in wrestling. It's very strange, but it's true, isn't it? But just because obviously the whole point is to try and he doesn't want to embarrass Edge, he just wants to push him, and it's the vice versa. Because obviously he wants to face the best Edge, the best stuff, best in this Iron Man match. So he's happy that this match is done really well for him and it's gone really well. So, so Eddie's obviously. Who would Eddie face next? Who would Eddie face next? We'll find out obviously next week. But it's set up quite nicely. So,
okay. Kurt Angle ahead of the match against Jericho cuts a promo on Jericho for a 100.
I know. I think the idea you got was it. I love that both on hundreds. It just seems to be the common thing now, isn't it? We just everyone just getting hundreds now. I love it. But yes, this one's kind of it's good. We're such great bookers. That's why. But anyway, so obviously Kurt talks about how it would be the last anyone sees of Chris Jericho, because tonight he's going to break his ankle, he's going to end his career, that kind of stuff. Kurt's like, again, as we point out, he's more intense, he's more laser focused. He's a guy that would probably end your career just so he can get his opportunity, right? But I like the idea. Obviously, he put it off screen, but obviously I put Chris kind of saying he's not scared of him and all that stuff, and he will beat him tonight type thing. But basically,
you could have the announcers mention that during Jericho's entrance.
Yeah, I spoke. Oh, do you mean that thing when they say I spoke to him earlier today?
I caught up with him earlier, and actually, you know what? Jericho says he knows exactly what Angle's like, and he's not scared, and he's ready to beat Kurt Angle. We'll see, won't we? We'll see, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I always like that kind of stuff. Or I wish we went proper old school and done the thing where they have the promo before the match in the little corner of the screen.
Yeah, picture in picture.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, Who is going to face Rob Van Damme for a right to be the king of the ring? That's right. The winner of next week's final will face the winner of Raw's final at King of the Ring. But who will be SmackDown's golden egg, golden choice? Will Kurt Angle or Chris Jericho have a chance? Well, they've got to beat each other tonight. Well, they've got to beat one of them's got to beat. You get the point. They've got to win tonight if they get to Rob Van Dam. Will they do it? Angle and Jericho in the main event gets a 91. Good match.
Yes.
Not quite match of the month because we had a 92 on SmackDown last week, but still very good.
That's what I mean, and I kind of like that for once. Actually, main events are pulling out, doing well again.
I mean, when your main event is Jericho and Angle or Jericho and Christian, as it was last week, I would expect it does. But good booking. And Kurt Angle beats Chris Jericho. Pencil it in, boys. Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam next week. Winner goes to King of the Ring. The Angle Slam following interference from that dastardly, that dirty, that scummy, rat-faced coward, Christian.
I got to be honest, the insult seems to be the bigger one than actually name. It's just like this terrible, horrible. Oh, dude, it's just Christian. It's just Christian. But I mean, if you do fair, anyway. It's not a point anyway. But this match is respect great, all kind of awesome stuff. You got Kurt trying to keep locking in that ankle lock, but as you expect, because obviously I know I'm doing the same thing with the injury because there is kind of a little injury with Chris, but it's not as prevalent than it is in RVD. So I like that, but just like the idea, obviously, Christian comes out from the crowd, and ref, I don't know why, just say he's distracted by like Kurt's try and check on Kurt or something like that. Christian comes in, hits his the Unprettier, takes out Chris. Ankle comes in, obviously doesn't take the pin, but he says ankle slam, but I like the idea of him he locks in the ankle lock and then he properly puts his legs around his leg like a boa constrictor type thing, properly like he did last week. Properly, and obviously, and I like the idea that Chris he doesn't tap, he's passed out.
Passes out due to the pain. Unbelievable.
So, as you said, set up very nicely. Obviously, Kurt's faced RVD next week. Obviously, I think we put the post. We didn't put our post match. Based post match, it was supposed to be obviously might change. Obviously, I put Jericho's out, but I like the idea that basically it's symbolism. Like you got Chris looking up at Jericho. Chris Jericho? No, where's that? It's a bit Chris Jericho looking up at Christian who's run into the crowd, as you said, as the coward he is after doing what he did. Obviously erased, and then we cut to obviously at the stage with Kurt Angle and RVD facing off against each other. But I think what I've put here probably obvious is he's on crutches. He's on a crutch. So it's like a situation of Steve Austin's he shouldn't be doing this, but he's so determined to face off against Kurt. And I like the idea that Kurt's looking at that leg going, I'm surely winning this, right? I'm surely winning this.
It seems to be set up. So, good SmackDown, 90 to be. I think we're confident that you've done it. Let's find out. SmackDown gets a 94. Very good show. Helped by an amazing main event and a second main event as well. 85 for Edge and Storm was very good. A couple of hundreds. Very good show. Not quite as good as last week, but last week was an all-timer. That is a solid couple of weeks of shows. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, man. I think I got to be honest. It feels like a back on form. So hopefully, let it continue. That's what I say.
Oh dear. Let's see what Raw can do. And if Raw wins next week, the YouTube/Twitch chat will decide who is King of the Ring.
That was never the plan, was it? It's never the plan when we planned this out.
That was never the plan. The plan was that Monday Night Raw would win 4-0, but hey ho.
You can only do that once. It seems to be a thing on this save. You're allowed to do that once on the save, but you can't do it twice. So
can't do it twice. Let's see what happens next week on our Go Home shows.